Hello, good afternoon, everybody. We are here with Vincent Herbillon and myself, Christian Stepnow, on our first live stream from Mauritius to Dominican Republic. Hi, Vincent, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. Early morning here in Cabarete, 7 a.m. So with a good coffee, and happy to be here and join you with this live. Second, I do for IKO, the last one with Mario. And yeah, happy to be here. How are you?
Yes, also very good. Over here, it's already afternoon. So for us, not such an early wake up, but thanks a lot for you to make yourself available for this. We have great conditions. Sun is shining, very nice, 30 degrees. Wind is blowing actually today. But anyway, we can't go on the water. We're still in a lockdown, so kite surfing is still not allowed at this time. And we have time to go online, to be available for everybody out there to stay question and answer today. And I'm very excited about it. It's actually the first time that I do anything like this. I think it's a really good idea. It's especially in times like right now. It's good to be able to reach people in a different way and also be available for a lot of you if you have questions to discuss, to answer your questions, and of course also to share our point of view on different topics.
Yeah, that's a great way. And here we are available. Maybe first also we could also an examiner and also training coordinator of IKO here in Cabarete. Unfortunately, same as you, we're still in lockdown here, so we cannot go kiting. We hope and cross fingers for June 1st to have a great news for the government. And because like everywhere in the world, during the lockdown, it has been windy every day, of course. So, but, well, that's life. It sounds like almost done here, hopefully soon. And yeah, so we both found good Iceland with no kite at the moment.
Yeah, we're exactly in the same situation. Our government is rescheduling, and actually we're waiting same for the 1st of June now. We're really excited already. We should have gotten some news by now, but we had a prime minister meeting, but they haven't mentioned any updates. So we're really excited to see what's happening now, either tonight or maybe by tomorrow. But you're absolutely right. The conditions been great since we were in lockdown here. It was probably one of our best slow season during that time. And it's kind of challenging to sit inside or watch these conditions without being able to go on the water. But yeah, great opportunity to start doing different things and be available. I want to use this chance actually since I'm available now and first time on a stream. It's my first live stream I'm ever doing here. And so please, if there's something not that professional, don't worry about it. It's like
learning.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's maybe quite interesting to see a little bit where I'm coming from, what's my background before we go a little bit more into detail. Same, if it's okay for you, with you, Vincent, afterwards. As we already mentioned, I live in Mauritius, but I was actually born and raised in Austria. I started in the ski industry. I was many years a ski and a snowboard instructor. So my first passion was snow, was the mountains, was always outdoor sports and always kind of extreme sports, but I was more towards snow. But I was addicted to traveling at very young age already, and I was also really interested to see as much as possible of this world. And so it happened that I moved to Australia in 1999. And my dream at that time was to learn surfing and to get into the water sport, surfing waves. And that's exactly what I did. I bought my split surfboards. I went in, I experienced that it's way harder than you ever imagine. So it took me quite a bit of time to get established what I've seen myself doing in my mind. And obviously I was motivated really well. And I took it from there and from surfing. I had already seen some videos about kite surfing, but I never really tried it. And it happened for me in Australia that some of my friends started at that time. And we're talking about a couple of years later now. So this is like 2001, 2002, where we first tried to experience some kites on the beach and just get a bit of a feeling for it. This is at that time without any instructor. This is without any knowledge. We just purely experiencing, and obviously also experienced some negative things, which I think is great because it gave me a lot of ideas and understanding of what people go through while they're learning. And from there, we took it a little bit more into a full addiction, I would say. As soon as I started and I got it a little bit figured out, I was addicted to it, and I was, couldn't be helped anymore. So water sport was my new passion. And as I already been a professional ski and snowboard instructor, I think it was quite sure that I wanted to do something similar with this new passion of mine. And that's when I found out that a good way to do so is actually to become a professional instructor. And I have to be honest, I started teaching a few months or even like a little time before, because I taught some friends. At that time, it was not really that regulated, especially not in Australia where we were living. And after a time, I decided to actually become a professional. And thanks to IKO, I have to say at that time, I found all the information I needed. I went to Dominican Republic. I did my instructor training course. I became an instructor, which opened a completely new world to myself. And I was able to travel. I was able to do what I love. So IKO has given me a lot, actually. It gave me international credibility to be recognized as a professional in this kind of field, and I loved it. I still love it. It's what I do. It's my passion. It's such a great thing to actually be able to do what you love. And a few years later, I wanted to get a career out of it. So I worked in this field. I worked actually full time as an instructor. I've been traveling. I worked in a lot of different locations. Been working for a lot of different kite schools. Been managing some schools. And then I was asked by IKO in 2008 if I'm interested to become an examiner. And I was really, really happy that I was asked, because that was my dream. I always wanted to go this career to become an examiner. And so it happened. I went to Dominican Republic again in 2008 after many, many seasons of working. I was trained at that time by John Dodds, still really, really great training master. Funny thing, he was actually also my instructor trainer during my instructor trainer course. So he's trained me in both ways. And I started working as an examiner in the year 2009. And now I work as an examiner for more than 10 years. And I've been traveling a lot more. But I placed myself in a different area. I placed myself in Mauritius. I opened my own school, my own center here. And I live happy here now with my family, with my daughter. And we are kind of immigrated to Mauritius. I'm based here continuously for more than 10 years now, and I travel from Mauritius, so this is my new home, and I'm very happy how everything turned out, and that's because of what IKO was helping me to accomplish. How about you, Vincent? How did your way go? How did you find your way into kitesurfing?
It's pretty similar to you, but maybe I'm going to do long story short. Maybe what we can do is to share I don't know if you have it there ready, the training path, so we can really show to the people what IKO has done for us actually, and do for many people. So that's a great way to travel. I did travel a lot myself, of course. I don't know if you can put it on the screen. So,
is it visible now?
I don't see it now.
Hold on a second. It should be by now.
Be going, yeah, that's good. So that's the training path you guys can see, and I did the same, you did the same, and that's the progression we have and we offer to everyone. So it's first you learn to kite, the first 5 levels. You get the discovery, intermediate, independent, advanced, evolution. So that's for kiters. You get it with IKO instructors, and you learn how to kite safely. And from there, if you want to become a pro, so that's both of us. What we did, you did it with John Dodds here. I did it with Thiago by the time. And that was, you start with the assistant. Well, when we did, it was no assistant, but nowadays you have to be first an assistant. That's a 5-day course. Then from there you progress to level 1. You have to be 18-year old and you become an instructor doing an ITC. So that's what you did with John Dutz here in Cabarete. It's still here actually, John. It's on the lockdown. From me,
Hi, John.
you can maybe listen to me, John. It's right there, next street, Procap Cabarete. And from there you move on to level 2 instructor. So that's based with experience. So teaching hour in the beach, you do your experience and you move on. Finally, you have the level 3. Level 3 will be the last of the instructors. From there, you can become either a coach. Coach you can become actually from level 1, after level 1, sorry. And if you want to become a trainer, then that's the last big step. So it's coach trainer if you want to train coach, sorry, or assistant trainer to train assistant, examiner to train instructor, and training master to train a couple of examiner a year. So that's where we are, and that's fantastic because it's the way to progress and to live. Oh, I can see many screens over there. Yeah. And the way to progress and make a job, a life about a patient. And yeah, so that's fantastic. We have Mario Certa, I see on Facebook.
Yes.
An examiner, the one with whom I did the live last time, and I trained him actually. He's a fresh Italian examiner, a bit frustrated because he was about to do his first ITCs on his own now, and they were canceled because of the COVID. But now soon he's gonna be able back on the horse. So everybody there wants to do things. Thank you
for joining us today.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit all I wanted to say about the way to grow. But yeah, maybe next you have the question about there.
Well, actually, this training path, it's changing. I know it's always getting updated, and I think that shows really how much IKO is really trying to make things the best way possible. And the training path has changed over the last years and probably keeps changing according to the demand of the market, new equipment, of course. So it's great to see that IKO is active in this matter and really tries to go with that. What do you think could be the future? What is now after this entire COVID-19 hopefully is behind us?
Well, first about the updates, it's great you mentioned that, because that's something I really loved from day one when I step into the IKO as instructor. Is like everything changed, everything gets updated, and we learn. Actually, there is on the instructor course, you know about it, we say trial and error, and that's what we want students do, and that's what we do also as examiner. We learn from our mistakes, we try new things, and we update. There is a new manual, instructor manual, that is about to be released. You have seen it.
Yes.
People have not yet, but it's again another big step, and every time we try new things. So that's great, because some other organization or other things are like you don't move anything. You don't have to do that. There is only one person on the head of it, and it's boring. Us, it's different. We think, we debate, we brainstorm, and we update. And everyone, even to say the small new instructor, if he has a great or she has a great idea about a new method or anything, they are welcome to share it with us, with the IKO, and we will consider it, and we maybe integrate it on the next manuals and standards. So that's a great thing about IKO. And what about your question about the future now about COVID? Well, keep your distance and use shorter lines to avoid touching your students all the time. That's for sure. It's going to be challenging, but we have already having like some instructor courses have been done lastly. Maybe you did one, or I'm not sure because I'm.
No, I wasn't doing one yet. I had to cancel quite a few courses now during that period.
Still locked down.
I know there was a possibility of running the theoretical parts in kind of an online way, kind of with Zoom, and then afterwards take part of the practical parts. But we have decided for us and also the organizers I've been working with that for now we keep it on standby. We're still hoping. We have a course coming up in September. We're still hoping that we can run this course and that this course is taking place. So no, we haven't been able to do any courses. That's mainly also due to the problem that there's no flights at the moment from Mauritius. We can't leave the island. Nobody's coming in. So apart from a lot of local people, of course, who are trained here, and obviously right now it's not legal, so we have to follow the guidelines and are not able to do any kite surfing or anything related to kite surfing.
All right, yeah.
To go back quickly, I think that's a very, very important point to mention, that everybody can bring in ideas. If it's an instructor, if it's an assistant trainer, the examiners, we have this feedback loop which always goes around and we always try to improve. Obviously, it takes a while. It's always like this. We're a big organization. There's a lot of people involved. I think currently, just to give you a few numbers, we have more than 300 IKO centers worldwide. We run more than 5,000 active instructors. And so far, there have been more than 600,000 trained kiteboarders. And that's just so more or less the recent numbers, but it's increasing obviously by the day. And that's a massive and big community. And it's great to be part of this community, and it's great to get your feedback and to understand how things are changing. And I think that's really the main point here. IKO is really focusing on changing towards the right direction to make it even more safe, to focus on what's needed in the market these days. And that's really great to be part of.
Yeah, that's what we do. We try to make it safe and especially fun. Keep it fun and safe. So the new way of teaching is like students learn much faster because they are safer. Also, the instructor is more relaxed. And that's and again, we do that. That's always something I say. We want our credibility by our experience. Nobody is here. Nobody becomes an examiner because he knows someone. Nobody becomes like this an examiner. You have to really go through all the training paths as you did, as I did, and some other did. And at the end, all this experience is shared together and put in the new manuals, the new method. So again, when I always say that our method is maybe not perfect, we will still improve, but you cannot say that it's useless, for example. You cannot say that it's impossible. And anyone who know about kiteboarding, who is a bit serious and has experience, if we see what we do, he cannot say that that's not good. It's and it will be better next year and better in 5 years and much, much better because that's always what we keep. We keep an open way. We share ideas. We test ideas. And this is being tested everywhere in the world, in Mauritius, in Cabarete, here in Tarifa, in Dakhla, in Australia, in Cape Town. So it has to work. It has to have something good.
Yeah. And I think that's also a really important point. What many people maybe don't see is that it's international. There's a lot of different spots involved. So it cannot be different in every different spot. It has to be a general standard, a general rule for everywhere. And in some spots, it might seem not necessary. In other spots, it really is. We have a lot of action here. I see that we have a new comment here from Maureen. Hello, Maureen. Do you have any example of an idea from an instructor that has been implemented lately, Vincent? I think that's towards you.
Well, many things have been implemented lately about instructor way of teaching, but maybe one of the latest, even if it's not new, but one of the latest, and we are still struggling with sometimes, is to put the leash in the front. So that's for everyone. That's for everyone. Why is that? It's always the same thing. Usually you don't need this. Usually you don't need to eject your leash most of the time, because nowadays, fortunately, the kites are safer. When you let go the bar, you lose most of the power. Sometimes you need to eject your quick release, and it's fine, and everything is all right. But sometimes one day maybe in your life you will need to eject the leash, and that day you want to have the leash in front of you, because what's happened if the kite is death looping on your back, the leash pulling on your back, I mean, you cannot reach, you might not be able to reach it. We have even videos of this, of people not being able to do that.
Already, we've had cases like this happening, and you don't reach the leash, and that's something you don't think of if you're not in this situation. And I think it's an extremely important change of standard. I see. Hold on, sorry. I saw that Mariano was joining us. He left us again.
I invited Mariano to say hello. So if sometime he gets on the live, you can make it.
Yeah, we were nicely into this discussion. So yeah, leash in the front is a very important standard. I had it happening to myself several times, actually, in waves that you get dragged, you want to eject, you can't even reach the leash, and there's nothing you can do. But it doesn't necessarily have to be waves. It's just an easier, more comfortable way to be able to release.
And it's,
so
it's the sorry to cut you. It's the eject button of the F-16 pilot. You want it between your legs, not on your back. And that sentence comes from an F-16 pilot that I taught. And when we talk about that, he said, "Look, it's like as if I have my eject button here. It's not. No. When you are in a bad situation, you want something here, and you want something you can reach with both hands, because maybe that's my good arm, but maybe I broke it. So I want still to be able to reach it. So here, it's everywhere here around, in front of you. That's going to be much better. And we want, if any manufacturer of harness is listening right now, hopefully, guys, put a little attach in the front. That it's easier on the spreader bar. Some harnesses have it nowadays.
Not already, but that's few only. It would be very nice for all manufacturers to do so.
Yeah, it's very cheap to implement. It's very, very easy to do. So guys, here with us.
And also for the leash producers, don't make the metal pins as wide that they don't fit to the loophole anymore, or don't actually slide out. We have that with a few brands as well. So now Mariano is here. I will let him join for this. Hi, Mariano.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, Mariano.
Hello, how are you guys? I'm proud of IKO working abroad, worldwide. Huh? It's very good for us and for all the people doing kite surfing to have us doing this. Very good, guys. Congratulations.
Maybe you can give another example of Maureen asking. An idea from instructor has been implemented lately.
Yeah, I have an accident. I used to race, and one time we get tangled two kites and start to kite loop, and I broke my arm. My left arm was broken, and I was holding the other kite, the other rider, with my right arm because he was vanished, and it was impossible for me to eject because we used to use the leash on the back, and it was impossible for me to reach it. So since then, I was using it on the side, and then we get together to put it on the front. I'm proud that many brands, not many, but some of the brands are already putting the attachment on the front from the leash. And yesterday, I have been on the beach since a while because, with this COVID-19 thing, and I see a lot of people using it in the front, even if they are not IKOs or whatsoever. But it's because the brands are putting the attachment on the leash on the front. So we are doing a good job, guys. Huh?
Absolutely.
Like I always say, it's like an ant. One by one, we have to convince the rest of the people to do that like this.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, Mariano, you just said you've been to the beach and you see that more people actually start doing it now. And I think that's really the importance of it. Actually, the instructors applying their new standards, people seeing it, not only the students, actually the independent riders. I had so many people coming up to me and asking, why do you actually wear the leash in the front? Is it not uncomfortable? And yes, it is if you have a long leash, but thanks God the market is now producing a lot of short leashes. And it's not only about freestyle anymore. So I understand that somebody who is jumping freestyle tricks, doing handle passes, has issues with short leashes. But then wide community of kitesurfing is free riding or wave riding or other foiling. And there it really makes a difference. And I think even most people nowadays don't have it in the back anymore. They have it in their side, if there's attachment points. But I really suggest for everybody, put it in the front. And what I wanted to bring out there was actually that if people see us doing that, if they see us doing that during our trainings, if they see us walking around like that on the beach, people get noticed and they will start seeing the advantages of it. And that's how it changes and becomes normal.
You asked Christian something about the new manual or the new things that we are working in. And monkey see, monkey do. This is one of the things that we are pushing also inside the IKO. If you do it, your students will do it and the partners around you. It's like the same with the helmet, the life jacket. And one other thing, very important, you remember many years ago, the people used to rig upwind with bar upwind. And most of the people now, if you look at these guys doing it on the beach, you think this guy is crazy. No? And this is the good thing about IKO. We will start pushing this. And the people is taking us like monkey see, monkey do, and we are the big monkey. So we have to do it right 100% of the time. It's not that when I'm doing it alone, I can do it whatever I want. We, us three, for example, we are the example for the rest. So we have to do it all the time. Helmet, life jacket, front, leash on the front, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I agree, 100%.
Let me ask you, Mariano, you are currently in Spain. And I heard that there is actually some movement going on. I heard that there might be some tourism happening very soon.
The idea
about that.
The idea is the government. Spain works with 90% or 75% of the business in Spain is related to the people traveling around. No. With these things, so for Spain, it's very difficult. This thing about the quarantine. So they are going to open the frontiers in the 4th of July. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Really, I don't know if it's going to be bad or good. But in Italy this morning I saw it. It was a pickup again on the curve, of dead people. They opened it like 1 week before. So I don't know. We are in the like very difficult moments for everyone. So
very special times, of course. But I see there is
very difficult time
now in Europe because we had some obviously terrible news like everywhere and a lot of information. And I don't even want to go in detail there. This is not us. We're talking about other things. But I just want to know the situation in Spain since we're talking Mauritius, Dominican Republic, and now we have you joining in from Spain.
Yes, there is a Chinese. I like it very much. A Chinese saying that is when the solution of the problem is not in your hands, it's not your problem. And in this case, it's not our problem. We don't have the solution of this. So we have to follow with the flow and keep going as they say. I don't know if they are right or not, but we have to keep saying what they say. For us, we are lucky. Yesterday, the beach were open, so we can start going to the beaches, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
let's hope that nothing happened, no? That we can get back to a normal.
Yes, of course, this is something, like we said before, new times, we have to adapt again. We have to see what's happening, as we always do, adapt to the situation, adapt to the conditions, adapt to the new markets, see how we do our sport the best and safest way possible. And I think that's what it's really all about, is us and the community having fun, enjoying what we love to do while being safe.
Yes, of course, if we don't survive this, we cannot do kite surfing. So the first thing you have to do is survive it. I'm not Iron Man, and I don't have the solutions for everything. But at the moment that we can get back to the normal, we IKO instructors, sports, we are the way out for the people. The people wants to get out and do something, and we are the front line. So we have to be ready for this.
Yeah. I want to start talking about, you were mentioning before already, new manual is coming up. I know that it's not yet. I don't want to go in detail, but I've been picking a little bit into the manual already. Is there anything what we can already kind of release? Is there anything what we can say already about it?
This is his news. Guys, sorry, I have to go to pay some bills that I have to go to the bank. So I take this opportunity to say hello to everyone, to keep pushing forward, to rise the level, to become the monkey, to be seen. And thank you very much for the invitation to participate in this. But I have to go. I have an appointment at 2 and I have to go. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Vincent, for all the time taking consideration on me. And see you later.
Thank you for joining, Mariano. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Vincent.
Thank you, Mariano.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
So, Vincent, I addressed this question to you. Is there anything...
That's Republic style. So.
Yeah, I saw the picture was frozen a little bit, but you can still hear me, no?
Yeah, I hear you now, but sometimes it's unstable, and some days are like this, and today it seems to be like this. But yeah. Let's move on. Sorry, what's the question?
Okay. I said, is there anything from I know there's a new manual on the way. There is a lot of changes happening. We don't want to go into detail, but we know there is a little bit more online training also available. There are a few new things coming up very soon. Is there anything what we can already release? Is there anything we can already talk about a little bit here?
Several things, actually. Maybe the greatest is the insurance. From June 1st, IKO will be able to propose insurance to all its members, from a kiter to an examiner, an instructor, an assistant, a coach. Every IKO member will receive a newsletter next week about it. So I'm not going to go into much details because that could be a bit long. But yeah, that's the big difference is now we will be able to propose that either for recreational, but also for pro while they are teaching. So that's great because now we will be sure that already today it's the case because an IKO center has to have an insurance to be IKO. But sometimes in some countries it's not as good insurance as we would expect. With this, it's going to be everyone will have the same one. And every instructor will have one. So everybody will be covered. The student, the instructor, the school, and the kiters. So that's really, really a great news. I'm happy.
Great news.
Because that's a fantastic sport. But yes, unfortunately, sometimes some little situation can happen. And you want to be covered. And insurance, many insurance, sometimes that people have trouble to get insurance because, yeah, the insurance, they don't really like the sport like kiteboarding.
I know we had this problem in the past that some countries had the possibility to have insurance, but a lot of countries were not able to seek insurance. And yes, there was school insurance, but there wasn't really individual insurance for instructor. And I was part of IKO when that was still existing, but then it stopped. And I was actually really sad for a lot of reasons that this was not available anymore. And Mauritius was actually one of these countries. And I had a lot of instructors I've trained. I know a lot of independent kiter who has been asking me about this insurance problem or if there would be insurance available in Mauritius. And there are some private organizations who took care of this, but it was not really perfect. And we are very happy to see that IKO is actually coming back on that topic and actually making it available for everybody to seek insurance. So that's great news. I have here
that we could not answer from every time instructor training course. It was like, do I have an insurance with IKO? And up until now, it was the answer. Unfortunately, was no. But right now, yeah, we will be able to propose it. So that's a great news. So that's one new thing from the new manual. Maybe another new thing that is not out yet, but that could be a news to share is online courses, online preparation course will be pushed in the upcoming months for the assistant training course. So assistant, will have to go through an online preparation to go to the assistant course. Why we do that? Because it's a 10-day course to become an instructor, and the first 5 days are full of theory, and it's a lot. So it's a bit too much for a normal person. I remember myself, and probably you have the same experience to share. When you did your course, I was like, wow, that's wonderful. I love, but it's too much. It's too much for my little brain, and my brain still works quite okay, I would say. But still, it was too much. I remember talk about the clouds, about aerodynamics, about things like this. You like it, but you don't have the capacity, the physical capacity to understand and remember everything. So if you get prepared a little bit before, then your trainer will also be better because he will know beforehand the question you struggle with, because you will have to do small exams online and stuff like this. And the course will be also more personalized because the trainer will have people better prepared, and that should push the level up. We always go up with the level, as you said before.
Yeah.
We update the training path, we update the requirements, and we want the people to be better trained because that's what we do.
Yeah, I think that's something really, really important here, that we used to have an instructor trainer course, then we applied the assistant instructor course. That was a 3-day program at that time. We actually extended that to 5 days. So actually all the candidates got more out of it. There used to be an online pre-ITC course available already in the past, where we had some modules, people actually pre-studying and actually even taking some questionnaires in the end. And the great tool I found was me as the examiner was able to see the results, and we were able to see the weaknesses and strengths of each candidate before we even got to know them. And we could see that this was actually a very good tool to have, even though at that time it was, I think, also too much. It was not working perfectly. That's why we extended the assistant instructor course. But I can see that especially now where we have a 5-day assistant instructor course and a 5-day ITC in place, where we really focus on getting better and pushing more content and getting more in detail, we still see that we need a lot more focus still on practical parts. And this is very difficult if we spend a lot of time on theoretical parts. And I'm not saying theory is not important. That's actually the essence. You need to understand the theory first before you can actually accomplish the practical, right? But if we have already the chance to pre-study, to get prepared, to understand, it doesn't hit you completely new. So you're already open to this topic. You might have already some questions prepared. You might have already understood where you have your strengths and weaknesses, and that will definitely push the level of the entire course again.
Yeah, practical, it's very important as theoretical. You're right. You need the theoretical, but also, yeah, it's a pity sometimes to spend a bit too much time on the classroom while where this can be done home. That's what we do right now. We are on both sides of the world and we are talking. So technology nowadays is fantastic. So the theory can be done more at home. And yeah, practical, because that's the great thing. The experience that any trainer has can be shared and practice, and the more they practice, the better they will become. And 10 days, it's long, but at the same time, it's a very short amount of time, sometimes with not great wind conditions. So when you have wind, you really want to be there, practice and correct the mistakes so people will learn and become better instructors.
Yeah, learning by doing, right?
Exactly.
Learning by trial and error, making your mistakes to get better. Great. I see also another person has joined us here. Hi, Lisa. Hi, I think we know each other. It's my niece from Austria. Welcome on this stream. Another thing I really wanted to bring up here, Vincent, you've been already talking about the new insurance. We also been talking about maybe some new online courses. Now, hopefully, after the entire COVID-19 thing is going to relax a little bit, there are, of course, a lot of destinations where we're already active, but are we planning on maybe also going in new directions in terms of different kite destinations or maybe new spots which might open?
Yeah, well, we work as a network at IKO, so we want people to get into the boat. So that's also a good thing. It's not closed because it could be no, you cannot come because no, we want people in, of course, to become. That's something we can talk about, how to become an IKO center.
Yeah.
To become an IKO center, it's easy. You need first thing, at least one instructor. It can be only one instructor. Sometimes the very small school, they start like this. Somebody pass their instructor training course. They need to get level 2 instructor. And as soon as they are level 2 instructor, they can open a center. To open the center, you need one, the insurance. So nowadays it will be easier because everybody will be insured with the IKO membership directly. And two, anymore. Yes, still. Yeah, I seem to have lost. Yeah, we will ask you some pictures now to verify your equipment and your teaching method that complies with the IKO standards. And as soon as you have all of these, and explain also the rescue procedures, how do you rescue a victim, how do you manage the boat and stuff like this, you can become an IKO center. So yeah, we have she's working with us at IKO, and she's looking for new schools all the time. She helped them actually, because we both can win. IKO can win because they have another school, more people, and the school can win because they have the brand and they can use the brand, the IKO brand, and benefit from this, from the website, from the IKO app. We can talk about that later also, the app, and yeah, so that's what we want. We want every time we want more.
What I think what's important here to mention, I've had this discussion with a lot of people. They say, oh yes, but it's so expensive. Actually, IKO now offers even free membership for centers to have different plans, of course, available. So if you want to run pro courses, if you want to actually do certain trainings available with IKO, then of course you have to pay for a membership. But just to be part of the IKO community and to be an IKO center, it doesn't cost you anything at the moment. So you can join for free as long as you follow the standards.
Yeah, you say the right. Sometimes people say, yeah, it's expensive to become IKO. No, it's free. Well, you have to become instructor. Of course, you have to pay for this training, but it's a great training and it's worth that. But yeah, the school is for free. Then you have other plans. But on first step, you can have an IKO flag, like the one you have on your back, and for free. Yeah, the other one, the other side.
Yeah, reverse. Yeah. So you were also mentioning that we can talk a little bit about the application.
Yeah.
What's the application?
Well, the application is the new thing from the last couple of years. No, it's still not perfect because we are developing it. It's a lot of work. We will soon have a newer version in the upcoming months that should work much better. And it's what is it? It's the way we certify. Well, it's the link with the website. They will work together on the new version, of course. And you have the V card. So the V card, it's the way you certify your student. When you are an instructor, you certify your student, they have a certification, and the V card is in the app. So the good thing is, like everything today, is like you cannot lose it. You lose your phone, you break your phone, you buy a new one, and you download the app and you have it again. So because before it was on paper, so that was nice, a little souvenir, the paper card. But unfortunately, many people, they were losing it, and then you go somewhere, you want to rent some equipment, and you cannot rent it because of that. So yeah, that's the new thing we're working on. We have a team working on that, and it's getting better and better.
It's getting better and better. And one feature, especially for all the instructors out there, which I know that our instructors and all the instructors I spoke to really appreciate, is that you actually can certify your students now via the app. So you can do it right in the moment, on the spot, on the beach. You don't have to go home and lock yourself in on your computer and then update your students. So you can actually do that via the app now, which is a great new feature as well. I see that we have a lot more people joining us now. Hi to Thierry from Madagascar. Nice that you join us. Also Albano from Mauritius. Hello, welcome to the stream. We have Filippo here with a question. He says, any prediction on world's percentage of clients lost during this month due to the COVID compared to 2019?
I don't have an actual percentage, Filippo, unfortunately, but what I can say, it has been really, really bad for all the business related to travel and to kiteboarding. So all the schools, like the one I'm sure I'm talking for you, but Anglos in Mauritius, I'm sure it's closed. We were talking about John Dots here down in Cabarete that has been open for, I don't know, many years, maybe 20 years. And it has been closed for 3 months, so 0 clients. And it's very sad because many instructor, assistant, schools owner, also examiners, assistant trainers, coaches, they work with that, and it's you get paid at the end of the day for each day of work. It's not a revenue that you have at the end of the month, like on more classical jobs, and you can do at home. So all those people, they are locked down. I have many friends here down in Cabarete, instructors that are locked down at home and cannot kite. So that's a frustration because you cannot do what you love, and they cannot teach, of course. So you're making zero money. And so no, I don't have prediction, but I know it has been very, very, very bad. Fortunately, now it's starting to reopen, especially in Europe. So people start to do that again, to do their passion and work. So that's a great news, because it has been very difficult for the last 3 months for all of us who love that wonderful sport.
Yeah, I have to share the same point of view here. For us in Mauritius, obviously all the airports were closed. There was nobody allowed to go kite surfing. So of course the businesses were closed. So we have actually zero turnover. We still have most of the cost maintained. So to compare to last year, yes, of course, last year, this is our low season. It starts picking up, but our main season actually starts around mid-July. And so we're still hoping that towards, maybe not beginning of the main season, but towards the middle of the season, that some changes are going to happen. We do have a lot of client contact, and they all writing me and asking, what's the situation? Are there any flights available? We really want to come to Mauritius. We are available. We're keen to come and go kiting with you guys and have some further lessons. So I think there is two ways of looking at it. We could actually say, yes, maybe we have lost a lot due to this situation. But if we stay positive, we might actually even see that once the borders are open, once people are allowed to travel and the tourism starts regrowing again, that we might have a quite good season, because people now are allowed to do it again, and we have maybe more people coming and more people going into kite surfing. I mean, in the end, our beloved sport, it is a great way to break out of this COVID-19 topic. No, it's a single sport. It's not really a mass sport where the big risk of infection, but we all not doctors, so we don't exactly know what is the situation there. But from a kiteboarding point of view, physical activity is really important for your immune system, for your health. I can't think of anything better than actually doing what you love at open air, breathing the smell of the ocean, or if you're not near the ocean, maybe of your lake or whatever environment you're in, and just enjoying, being happy, enjoying what you love to do. And I think that's something we really have to take from there. We had now some difficult times, and it was difficult for all the businesses. But let's stay positive. Let's hope that soon all, I don't want to say goes back to normal, let's say becomes a different time where we are able to enjoy what we do and do kite surfing in our areas again.
Yeah, different time, maybe being a bit more responsible, everyone. That's what we've learned. But I believe something we have learned, something I have learned personally from this crisis is like physical health is important for sure. That's why we have been all locked down. But mental health is maybe more, and we don't pay too much attention to that. And yeah, when you do what you love, and as you said, kiteboarding, it's a good example. You will be good in your head. Some people start to get mad with this situation because of that, because you miss something. It's like a drug, and especially for those of us like really live in front of it. Here, it's really strange to see the ocean with 25 knots every day. The Bay of Cabarete, which is full of nobody is in there. So so yeah, we have to be careful. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to give too much opinion on that. But for sure, once you are in the ocean on your own, on your kite, there the risk of receiving it or infecting someone, it's near zero, I believe, because you are on your own.
Yeah, I think exactly the same, and nothing better to do than go back to what we love to do, right? And exactly the most important point here also, like Vincent already mentioned, get your mind off things, be mentally happy about what you do, and we all know kite surfing makes us happy. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that we get this over with very soon. let's talk a little bit about IKO in detail again. Cabarete is still where the head office is based. How many years are you already in Cabarete, by the way, Vincent?
I've been in Cabarete since 2000. I always struggled with dates, so that's a tricky.
Many years already.
No, it's all right. 2014. So that's about 6 years. And yeah, the office is here, even if it's locked down. It will reopen on June 1st, but right now everybody is working from home. Actually, it's 7:50 in the morning, so in 10 minutes the office will start. Probably everybody will start to send messages on our private Skype group. And yeah, we're here. So we also are soon we will open a little office in Portugal to have also one step in Europe. In order to expand a little bit. And the good thing about the IKO in Cabarete, it has been growing for the last years. More people have joined the team. The team is getting bigger because that's still the problem we have. We are an international company, but we are still very small. So sometimes it's hard to do everything because we miss heads and arms. That's why when the examiner helps, like you have done many times, it helps a lot because we have more heads and more heads to work for that. But yeah, IKO is there and moving forward. And so everybody who wants to get into the boat with us is welcome. So again, that's something I mentioned at the beginning. That's great for IKO because it's open. Doors are open. Some other company, not especially in kite, but in the whole world, are more closed. If you're not a friend or the son of, you cannot get in. Here, it's nothing like this. Here, if you are somebody happy, smart, and love kiteboarding, you can come. It's open.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you don't have the head office in your area, there is always IKO representatives or us examiners or some instructors. And of course, you can always email online if there's any questions. Now, for everybody watching in Mauritius, of course, if you have any questions regarding IKO or regarding anything else in kiteboarding, I'm always available. I think that's what I'm known here for in Mauritius in this many years I'm living here, that anything related to this topic, I'm always open. I never actually close anybody out. So come to me, ask me if there's any problems or questions you have. And of course, now use this stream also as the chance to ask us questions if you are watching us.
Yeah, that's something good you mentioned because on the early years, IKO was really struggling with client service, so to answer the question because missing people, also they didn't have the knowledge, also the technology was not as good as today. But nowadays we really have a good client service. If you write on Sunday, you will have your answer only the day after on Monday. But we have a couple of girls working every day out there, Mabel, Lucia, Tonya, to answer the question of everyone, and in many languages, thanks to Google Translate also. So that's great because people who want to know something, they have the answer. And again, everybody is open to come and share. So come with us.
So there is actually also a feedback section on the website and everybody is able to give some feedback there. So also, of course, if you see that people do not follow the standards or if you see something which you don't like, always please give your comment, give the feedback there. That's what we need. That's what we really use to implement new standards and to make kitesurfing more safe or to actually check on certain instructors or centers which don't follow the rules. So there is something called sanctions. So if I think not many people are aware of that actually, but in this professional organization, if people do not follow the standards or don't apply with the standards we have set, then there are sanctions and it can even lead to losing your instructor license or not able to be an IKO center anymore because IKO is a brand for quality and we want to keep it this way. But of course, our eyes are not everywhere. And we do that a lot. Every time I travel in a new destination, we check on the area there, but we are not everywhere. And of course, there's still a lot of places where I call it the wild, wild west. So if you have the possibility to pick up a few of the helpful tips, what IKO is trying to push and submit here, I think it's an important way forward to make the sport even safer. And even though we see still accidents on the beach, and we see that there's still some risk involved. It's always like this in what we call extreme sports. I wouldn't say kitesurfing is really that extreme sport anymore. The material here has changed, become safer, it became a lot more accessible for a lot of different people. But of course, there's still a lot of danger involved, and it's important that everybody understands what needs to be done to stay safe.
Well, about the extreme part, as I always say, it's if you do it well, if you learn the proper way with a good instructor, if you use your brain just a little bit to practice the sport, it's not extreme anymore. It could become extreme, especially for people who start on their own, alone, have no idea about methodology, then this is really extreme and you can really have a serious accident. So that's what we do. That's why we have standard. That's why we have the sanction, you said. That's great you mentioned that. But again, the idea is not to sanction. The first thing we know when we receive a quality report about an instructor, an examiner sometime, a school, whatever, an assistant, a rider, the first thing we do, we check if it's true, of course, and if it is, we'll talk with this person. We'll try to train him to do the right thing. And if the person say, okay, my bad, I did this mistake, I did not know, I was not sure, and everything, then it's all right. And we will check later to be sure. It's doing it. It's not lying, of course, and that's it. We move on, but we don't want to section. Of course, if you say no, I don't care about your standard, I don't respect them, you continue doing it, then you will eventually be sanctioned and lose your license. But it's few people actually, because most of the people, it's a situation sometimes that they do a mistake and then we correct it and they move forward and then they actually
learn out of it. Like we already mentioned,
we can all do a mistake.
Yes, like we said, learning with trial and error, like our students. That's the same, of course, for everybody, and doesn't mean that everybody's losing the license straight away just because you did a mistake. I didn't want to go into this direction, just so people are aware that this is happening, because especially in our area here, we have a lot of people who don't understand or don't know that this is actually also part of IKO, especially independent riders. But I think our role is to keep it safe and to, of course, make it accessible for everybody. I have a new comment here for Ahmed. Hi, Ahmed. Hope you're doing well and being safe. Do you know if Arabic language will be included in the IKO, or what is the criteria of adding new languages, like number of instructors speaking and destination speaking that language? How about languages, Vincent? Is there any plan?
I lost you for a moment, but I know that you said the question. So that's a great question, actually. Arabic would be lovely to have. Arabic would be lovely to have because we already do courses, especially in Morocco, a lot. And unfortunately, we don't have it. So it's hard for the people. I made many in Essaouira and in Dakhla. And it's always a pity because, yes, for the guys, if they do speak, many of them, they speak French or English. And so you can do the course, but some others, they don't. And that's all right. It's their country. They don't have to. But then those guys cannot follow the course. So it's a pity. And this will be true for Chinese, for Russian, for everyone. So to answer the question, what we need is an examiner of this language, because we want, when we translate, the first, for people to know the process, we create an instructor manual, it's in English. Great. No translation. I send it to my friend Martina in Italy. She translated in Italian. She's a great assistant trainer, but then I need to get it back and have an examiner check on it, because I want to check the technical part is still there, because it could be really dangerous if instead of putting downwind, you put upwind in some procedure, for example. So that's what we need. But it's good also you mentioned that, because I had this discussion with a friend of mine in Morocco 2 days ago. I can take it out of my Facebook, and we will be working on that on the next years. But it's not for now. But we will. Unfortunately, I would love to have it. The manual. No, it's going to be in 7 languages. The new one is Polish. But to me, it will have to be in 50 languages, and hopefully one day it will be like that. step by step. But Ahmed, we working on that.
But I think it's also important to say there are already a lot of new languages available. I see the process over the last years. We had only a few like English, Italian, and Spanish. Now there are 7 languages available. So you see there is improvement happening, and there is, of course, a lot of new languages joining.
What we need is help. As again, we are a small company, few people, and every new languages have been done thanks to new guys. German has been done a lot. You help on the German. Thilo helped a lot. He's examiner in Germany. And the Polish is going to be with Magic with a new examiner in Poland. So that's Max has helped a lot, or Mario for Italian. That's examples. We need people. And so people like you, Ahmed, if you love IKO, your instructors, grow, teach, go up in the training path and help us. That's what we need. And it's worth for everyone out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good point also. Now, maybe with all these changes, with the situation, a lot of people realize that they are fed up in what they're doing and how important it is actually to do what you love. So great new opportunities for everybody out there to actually start kiting, or if you kite surf already, become a professional, become an instructor, do a career in kite surfing, maybe help growing the community, help growing IKO.
Yeah, that's what we need, more people. And it's, again, we go back at the beginning, it's really a great way to, I have loved the last, I don't know how many years I spent it there, but it's great. You can really make a life about your passion, start teaching, open a school, become a trainer eventually, or become a coach, or there are many ways to grow inside, and help us at the office. And yeah, it's much better than many jobs, very boring job. I did many of these before that. You probably did some also. I'm not going to mention any because there is no bad job, but this one for sure, it's really interesting, and many people, it's a life changing. That's also what I'm sure you will confident. That's something I love about instructor training course when we do that, because you have people like, they're like, oh, thank you. At the end of the course, they are like, and you meet them 2, 3, 4 years later, and they are living their dream. Thanks to IKO, thanks to you, and thanks to them, of course, because they are doing it, not me. So that's a wonderful thing. And you and I have lived that too. And it's so everybody who is there watching us and not sure about it, man, do it.
Yeah, I think that's a very major point here. This is for me, teaching kiteboarding was always so rewarding, because in the beginning, when you're an instructor, to learn somebody what you love to do and to see their pleasure and satisfaction, especially after their first rides and once they actually get in. And I have a lot of clients who actually come every year, and I started them as a beginner, and now they are almost professionals, and they are really coming every year, enjoying our beautiful spot here. And you can see how they improved and how they adapted and how they turned out and became over these years is fascinating, and is really rewarding. And the same, of course, as an examiner, when you teach people on how to actually get a professional instructor and how you move them from a kite surfer into an instructor, it's very rewarding to see. And maybe a good example of my own, I was doing a normal job before, and I only wanted to do a kite instructor for certain years and then go back in the normal job. But it actually never happened. I want to stay in this industry. I can't even think of doing anything else. So I wanted to turn into a normal kind of life back when I was 30. I'm now 42. So I passed the train there. So it's just because it's a beautiful and incredible job, and I think it's not really having an age limit on it either. So it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't say the opposite. That's the best thing I have made in my life, is one day say, oh, I'm gonna try this instructor training course. Let's see. And I was not sure. Same as you, I was like, okay, maybe do that 1 year. I'm gonna do a trip or two, and then come back to a normal life. but never went.
We have a comment here again from Maureen. What do you love most about the job? And to say for me, Maureen, it was definitely traveling when I was younger and not located in Mauritius. It gave me really the opportunity to travel and live in different countries and different spots. By now, I would say it is these rewarding moments when you actually transform somebody, no matter if it's a student who learns kite surfing or if it's a becoming instructor who gets all the tools he needs to actually start teaching, and then meeting them again in the future actually and seeing them work. Some of them actually even working for our school or for other schools around us. And it's just such a satisfaction.
Yeah, to answer Maureen, I would say that what I love the most about my job is to answer Maureen's questions. No, yeah, it's actually that's pretty much it. It's to share what I know. I love to share what I know because it's the best thing you can do in life. Share what you have, and you will receive much more. And people will love you for that. And it's not to be loved that I do that, but I have a knowledge, a certain knowledge about the sport, which is wonderful, happens to be wonderful. And I'm happy to share it. And as you said, yeah, then it can be to anyone, to a rider, to a friend that comes and asks me for a couple of advice on a new trick, on a new method, or to teach an instructor, a coach, an assistant, and an examiner, because I'm also able to train examiner, which is fantastic. And yeah, and of course, traveling. That leads you to wonderful destination like Mauritius. I see the picture on the back, that wave that I would have loved to ride once in my life, and I will for sure. Capite, Tarifa again, Cape Town, all those destinations. And Africa now are growing. East Africa, you have Zanzibar, Ethiopia, all those countries are growing on kiteboarding. Morocco, Dakhla, Cape Verde, it's everywhere.
Many beautiful destinations, no? And I think there's something for everybody. If you're a wave enthusiast, if you're a freestyle enthusiast, if you're into foiling, there is great destinations everywhere to carry out your passion. And yes, absolutely, Vincent. We were actually meant to meet several times already here for some trainings, and unfortunately, we never made it happen. Either I was too busy, or I was not able to travel, or we didn't have enough candidates. So there was a few things. I hope that we can still do that in the future, and that you're able to come to our island. It's a great place to be. It's really one of my favorite destinations. I think that's also the reason why I settled here. But of course, we are all.
For you.
Yes, tell me.
How many turns are you able to do on that wave?
Countless turns, if the wave and swell direction is the right way. So going into this, actually, Mauritius is one of the best wave riding destinations in kite surfing. And I see it's proven now over the last years. When I came here, nobody really knew about it, but I think by now most people know. We have a lot of world championships. We hosted the KSB back in the day. Now it's the GKA, which has a stop here every year. And yes, we do have here these incredible waves. I know most of you probably know One Eye, and that's what we're famous for. But to be honest, in just this little spot, what you see here in the background, which is called Lemon, we do have 5 different waves. And these waves are for everybody, not necessarily only professional riders. We have nice, easy waves for beginners. We have nice intermediate waves to get improving and to get a bit used to more hollow, more faster waves. And of course, we have full bearing, long, clean waves. They hold up until 30 plus knots and just are amazing. And this is, of course, like One Eye. So to answer your question, Vincent, we have here 2 waves which connect. We have one which is called Chamon, which a lot of people think it's part of One Eye, but it's actually the top first part, which is an individual wave, which then goes over into One Eye. And if the swell direction is right, the 2 sections combine, and we do get a very long running clean wave. Maybe not as long as the wave in Peru, but very close to it. The difference though is it's quite on gnarly shallow reef though, so you should already know what to do there. You don't really want to wipe out too many times. And, but in general, yes, this wave is amazing.
the wind is blowing off, no? Over there.
It's a little bit depending. It's usually side off, but it gets quite offshore sometimes too. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I love the most here. I mean, to me, I've been questioning myself many times. Why do you stay in Mauritius? Why do you love it here so much? And there's 100 different reasons for it. But one of the main reasons I always have on first rank is these incredible waves, and in particular, how many days you are able to kite surf in these perfect conditions around the year. Because I've been living in Hawaii. I was living in Maui for more than 1.5 years, and it's great wave conditions there, but it's Mauritius gives you a lot of days, because we always almost have waves, even during the low season. We have a lot of wind, and the wind direction with the wave direction is almost always working. So we say here that even a bad day in Mauritius is a great day in another destination. So we are very, very lucky here with our absolute gorgeous and incredible waves.
We are spoiled.
We are very spoiled, yes. Very, very spoiled.
Yeah, it's the same in Cabarete. We have so many days that sometimes I say, you see the condition and you say, oh no, today I don't like it. I'm not going to go kiting. And with this condition, back in my country, in France or in Spain, you will go kiting. Because that will be a great day. You will definitely go and you will run into the ocean. But here it's every day, so sometimes you can really be a spoiled kid and say, today, well, no, it's only 15 knots. I don't know. I don't like the wave direction compared to the wave. So it's fantastic living in places like this.
I think it's not only us, even tourists. I had that experience many times that tourists get tired of being able to go kiting every day. And if they're here for a 2-week vacation, after day 10, 11, they say, okay, what else is there to do? I need a day rest. I can't literally go on the water anymore. My hands are sore, my legs are sore. So obviously that's not all the time, but we do get fairly good amount of windy and wavy days here in Mauritius.
Yeah, that's like when you go skiing, you can do 1 week of ski, but after the second week, you start to get tired. And people, when they come in places like us, they can do every day. Of course, they will go 3 times a day because they are on vacation. And as you said, after depends on the physical condition, but after several days, they want to do something else. Actually, I'm going to promote a little bit my island, saying one of the great things also here about Dominican Republic is like you have Cabarete, you have the great wind condition. You can also surf in the morning when the wind is not pick up, and you can do plenty of other non-related things when you are tired because it's a green, lovely island with people that are really lovely and live from tourism actually, and we need you back on the island as soon as the flights allow it. So that's also great because I've been to places I'm not going to mention, but I've been to places where you can only kite. And then when kite is over, it can be a little bit boring. But here, it's not like this. It's like you can really come and don't kite at all and still do plenty of things. And so that's what gets the place so great also.
Yeah, I think that's the same here in Mauritius. The local people are welcoming, lovely people. They really enjoy having tourists here. And also here, the tourism is 85% of the income of Mauritius. So very hard times at the moment. And we hope that it goes back to the tourist activities very soon. A lot of people here live off the tourism, not necessarily kite surfing. A lot of different things are involved here. We have a lot of private people renting houses, renting cars, hotels. So much industry behind this tourism thing. So, and as well, it's not all about the kiting. It's a beautiful island. There's a lot of other things to do. And it's definitely worth to come and visit. One last thing, Vincent, I would like to come back to. We were talking about these waves, and I'm not sure if you still have time, but I know that IKO has this special coach courses now, the clinics we call them, or evolution classes, where you have different ways of more advanced progression. And one of those are also wave riding. And maybe can you tell us a little bit about this, especially since we've been talking about these perfect waves already?
Yeah, well, that's the evolution level. So level 5 for the kiters, and it's taught by a coach. So to be a coach, you have to be first an instructor level 1, and then pass the coach course. And of course, you need to have a great level on either one of the categories or all of the categories. So either on hydrofoil, on twin tip, you do free ride, you do freestyle, or on wave riding. and then the coach will teach people to do that, because teaching a beginner and teaching an advanced rider, it's two things completely different to me. Because the beginner, it's the hard part. It's like he doesn't know, so he could be in danger if he doesn't follow your rules, or if you're not here. It's like a little kid. You're not gonna let a little kid alone in the street, because he will have troubles for sure. And then an advanced rider is like a teenager, so it's completely different. It already has many knowledge, but it doesn't know everything. So you need to give small inputs. It's harder in a way when you are a coach, because you have less to say. I remember my first coaching when I was a young instructor and starting to coach a little bit on my own. It's hard to teach somebody to do a front roll, because the person has already seen the videos nowadays, so he knows most of the theory. He has already talked many times about it with his friends. And you're there on the beach and you watch, and sometimes it's a little thing. It's always a little thing, a little advice that he doesn't know, he does not do well, but you have to see it. And that's the hard part of the coach. And if you see it, that's what is fantastic when you coach. It's like you say, hey, look, put your leg a little bit more like that, and you will achieve your turn if it's a front roll or if it's whatever it is on the category you're teaching. And the person will say like, wow, because then it's tack, and the trick is landed, and you can move forward. So that's a wonderful program. And yeah, when you have waves like you have there, it's good to teach people how to surf that wave.
So for the coach courses, do you actually have to pass each individual course, or do you just decide to go in one direction?
You can do only one, because some people, they will teach only wave riding, because they say, look, I'm a good wave rider, I love strapless, I love surf, but I don't know how to hydrofoil, or I don't know how to freestyle and unhook. So that's two different things. Some other people will be able to teach everything, because they are in shape, they are younger, and they create every day on every support. So it really depends. But yeah, you can do only one. You can do only hydrofoil, you can do only twin tip, freestyle, free ride, or only wave, or two of them, three of them, or the four category.
I think that's a very important thing to mention, because I have a lot of requests. I think that nowadays the market really searches for coaches. There's a lot of advanced riders who want to improve. There's still, of course, a market for beginner kiters and on how to learn kiteboarding, but there's a huge, massive market of hydrofoiling, of wave riding, of freestyling, of free riding. And that's all categories where people used to just try it by their own, or just watch a YouTube video and then experience on their own. But to have a professional coach, and especially again having IKO giving the coaches the credibility and the knowledge on how to coach, makes it great.
Yeah, it's we have all been there. I have been there. When you learn on your own, you waste time, and sometimes it takes you 2, 5, 10 years to realize that. Because when you have somebody, and it works for kiteboarding or any other sports or activity in the world, when you have somebody who knows and corrects you the right thing, it's you make in 2 hours, you make the progression of 2 years on your own, because it's totally different. When you're on your own, you don't really realize, you don't really know. It's hard to, okay, what I'm doing wrong. You don't see yourself. You don't have a mirror. You don't have, so it's and even if you have a mirror, you don't know where to look. So yeah, that's always something I recommend, because people, they take lessons for beginner, and then they say, okay, no, I want to be on my own. It's totally fair. I understand that. They ride a little bit alone, take your time. But sometimes it's good to come back to have an instructor, and it can be only 2-3 hours of coaching, because you don't need to have 40 hours. And it will give you some great inputs. And then you're here on 2 hours after, or 2-3 days, you're there. And if you don't take it, you will stay there, struggle, and get bored, because you over and over the same trick and you don't land it.
Yeah, I fully agree. I see a lot of people who are actually wants to know how to kite. They think everything is done. We don't need instructors anymore. I have to kind of learn it by my own. But over the years, a lot of more need for coaching is here, and a lot more people actually understanding that point you just explained so nicely. That it takes them too long. And for a lot of people, they don't have so much time available. They only have their certain window on holidays, when they have maybe their 1, 2, maybe their lucky 3-4 week holiday where they can kite, and they want to see some progression. And a lot of times it's just trying to get back into that level I had last year, and then it's a struggle to maybe improve. So going into a professional coach training or just taking a private lesson here or there really helps to actually save time. Also, sometimes I really think save money, because you don't damage your equipment as bad as if you try on your own. And in the end, it's just a lot easier and more comforting to learn.
Yeah.
So thank you a lot to go into details there for us, Vincent.
My pleasure. I think we have tried some subjects today. I would like to finish this one saying thank you for organizing also this meeting, Christian. It's always great to share. I do hope people that have listened didn't get bored by this 1 hour and 20 minutes. Well, Maya took some of the minutes, so that's pretty much 1 hour we had ourselves. Sorry about my English and the technical problems. Sometimes that's not my fault. That's because sometimes here it's up and down. And maybe we can do another one anytime. Maybe not tomorrow, otherwise people are bored, but also people are welcome to suggest some topics directly to the IKO, and we will be pleased to do it.
Hello, Vincent. Now you're gone. Hello? Well, I think the connection just cut off.
Again.
There you are.
There you are. But again, thank you. And
from my side, Vincent, thank you very much for joining. It was great to have you here. It was really nice to discuss certain topics with you, to see your point of view on things. I hope also the audience enjoyed it. This is a new thing IKO is trying here. We really try to get a lot more people involved and maybe ask questions online to really use this stream ability to ask different questions if you have any. And yes, thank you very much for your time, Vincent. Also from my side, thanks everybody for watching. It was great to have you here. I hope that everything was kind of okay with the connection and with all the changes here on the screen. But like we said in the beginning, that's our first live stream here from my side. So there's obviously room for improvement. If there's any suggestion, please send them either to our IKO office, and you can just send that here onto ikointernational.com, or you can also email us directly on hanglosetours.com. That's our kite center here in Mauritius. Apart from that, I would wish you a great day. I know you have your day coming up. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello. We're still here? We're still online?
No, actually, I tried. There we go.